Hello, witches. I thought I would show you my new updates on my altar. I kind of look at my altar as an evolution. Like, as the seasons progress, I sort of switch things around on my altar, almost as if the altar itself is going through its own season. For example, these two quilt squares I had on this side of the altar at the bottom, and as the spring starts to be in full bloom, I've moved these to up here, so they're kind of higher above. And I sort of work my altar that way so that things progress, and eventually by the end of the season certain things will be removed and other things will replace them. So it's kind of like they start off at a certain point and they go around in like the wheel of the year. So, and some of the things stay here all the time, like my cauldron is almost always here. My abalone shell. I usually have an animal totem or some kind of animal that I'm working with on here. I always have my bell, usually a snuffer and some wands. Always my beloved mortar and pestle, and I usually have candles to represent each of the directions and elements. Sometimes and sometimes not. I don't always have these things for raising like musical vibrations. I do like to meditate with drumming and sound, and I recently added the candles on here because for easy access. So what I have changed up a little bit is I've changed out what I had in here in this star, and I've moved it. I've taken the Lord and Lady candles away, and I've moved them kind of to, this is sort of like a mini altar, but it's not one that I usually work on anymore. This was like a tiny hidden altar that I had during my years of Christianity, and it was very small and very out of the way, so nobody would really notice it. But now, obviously, my whole room has become an altar. But so I moved the Lord and Lady, and I also took off this big crystal and my little elephant. And what I have here is these are crystal. The bottom is crystal, and I think the top is glass. Full blooming flowers. I have my butterfly stone. Oh dear. And I'm really bad at knowing what the stones are, so sorry if I don't know. I put this here. This is special to me. I know it's kind of like a Catholic sort of icon, but to me it represents both the masculine and the feminine. And as you see, it's Mary holding the baby Jesus, and there's angels and all of that. But more than just having the masculine and feminine, this was given to me, I believe by my mom, and it's made in Russia, which has to do with my heritage because my beloved grandfather was Russian. Then I have my bell and a feather. Okay, and then up here I have this girl who looks strikingly similar to my daughter when she was a little bit younger, my 15-year-old, and her name is Faith, which is probably why I got this. But I've had it on an altar for quite some time because this beautiful little girl has a flower pot, and in the flower pot it says, "Faith allows the spirit to grow." And that is very much something that I need to meditate on, and I think that's a beautiful message, and one that we all need to remind ourselves of. For me, it's especially true because I've had a lot of things that are said to be faith that have held me back and not allowed me to grow spiritually. So for me, I love that statement, and at this point in my spirituality, it's something that I definitely want to meditate on and want to apply to myself and my life, and how I plan to rear my children. And with the little flower pot, a cool little spell type thing that you can do that I remember doing before is I made a flower pot, and I wrote on little popsicle sticks and planted them in the ground so that you couldn't see what was written on the popsicle sticks. And the idea is to plant qualities in yourself that you would like to grow. And you can plant real seeds and have them actually grow, or you can get those little sticker things and make little flowers onto the popsicle sticks. That's what I did, but just a cool idea. So I also have this amethyst cluster, and it's, can't see it very well because of the mirror, but it's one of those little prosperity trees, and it's got all different crystals on it. Next, I have a crab. The crab reminds me of tarot, and in the moon, at least on one of the decks that I have, the crab is hidden in the water in the moon card. And a crab is a very interesting creature because it walks sideways, and the way it's hidden, I can't always see it, but it has many other qualities. It's very delicious, and it can be fierce. It has its little pinchers on there and everything. So I'm going to look up some more stuff about the crab, because I have a feeling I might be pleasantly surprised, and I felt led to put the crab on here. I have my wand here that I've spoken about before, that always, the end point always falls off, and I still have not found a permanent replacement for it. And I have a shell, and if you remember, I've shown these little quilts careers before. To me, they represent spring and summer and fertility and all of that. I sewed the belly of my tiger here, and so I have my cauldrons and all of this, and I tried to declutter a little bit, and I haven't quite decided yet, but I am thinking of changing my altar cloth. I only do it a couple times a year, usually, but I have this, which is, let's see if I can lay it out. Excuse the laundry on my bed. I'm doing laundry. It's actually a skirt, but it reminds me, it's like a silk material, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use it as